Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're going to break down this incredible fable about a goat named Lolly and a donkey named Baloo. Now on the surface, it's just a story about them trying to find a dry place to sleep. But trust me, it unpacks some really big truths about facing challenges and the huge difference between just looking for help and actually building your own security.
So it all kicks off with this one. Simple wish. We meet our heroes Lolly and Baloo huddled together in this leaky, pathetic little hut while a storm rages outside. You can almost feel their fear, right? And that single thought, if only, that's the little seed that this whole journey grows from. It's a totally passive hope, just wishing a solution would magically appear.
And this is where the story gets really juicy. It's all built around this tension. On one side, you've got this idea of seeking shelter, looking for the easy way out, the pre-made solution. But on the other side, you've got the much tougher path of building shelter, actually creating your own security from scratch. That difference right there, that's the key to the whole thing.
So let's start at the beginning with their struggle. It's these two friends completely outmatched by the elements. The storm isn't just literal rain, it's emotional too. It's forcing them to face just how vulnerable they really are.
So who are our heroes? Meet Lolly and Baloo. They don't have money, they don't have a solid roof over their heads, but what they do have are the only assets that truly count. They're willing to work hard, they've got a tiny spark of hope, and most importantly, they have each other. And that foundation, that friendship, is what they're going to have to build everything on.
All right, so they're fed up, they can't take the leaky hut anymore, so they head out into the forest. But pay attention to their goal here. It's not to build something new, it's to find something that already exists. They're looking for that easy answer, and this is where they learn their first really tough lesson about shortcuts.
And, of course, their search immediately goes wrong. It's like a tale of two bad choices. First, this sly fox comes along and points them to what looks like a perfect cave. Classic shortcut, right? But that easy fix leads them straight into their next disaster. That perfect cave is already taken. And the current residents, well, they're not exactly rolling out the welcome mat.
And boom, there it is. The harsh reality check. The world isn't just going to give them a safe place to live. The dogs make it painfully clear you can't just take someone else's security for your own. So they're chased out, totally dejected, and right back where they started. Now, just when they've pretty much hit rock bottom, they have this chance encounter that changes everything. This is the big turning point, where a totally new way of thinking comes from a very, very unlikely source.
Okay, before we hear what this character has to say, let's just define this core idea, self-reliance. Now, this isn't about being a lone wolf or isolating yourself. Not at all. It's about digging deep and realizing you have your own strengths, your own resources to solve your problems. And man, is that a mindset shift Lolly and Baloo need right now.
And here it is. This is the advice from the wise old tortoise. He sees their despair and lays it out so simply. Notice he doesn't offer them a place to stay. He gives them something so much more valuable, a new mindset. Stop waiting for a handout, start building for yourselves. This is the moment they pivot from seeking to actually creating.
So they're inspired. They start gathering sticks and mud, finally working on their own hut. But the story isn't over. Just as they commit to this new path of hard work, a totally new and way more dangerous threat shows up to test them.
And this new adversary is a wolf. What's so brilliant here is that the wolf sees them working, sees them improving their lives, and instead of admiring it, he sees an opportunity. He sees their effort as something he can exploit. He's the kind of predator who feeds on the hard work of others.
And just like that, the threat is no longer a little rain. It's a direct life-or-death ultimatum. The wolf basically says, work for me or I'll destroy you. The stakes have just been raised through the roof. Their fight is no longer about comfort, it's about survival.
This brings us to the story's amazing climax, because now they're facing a predator they know they can't beat by themselves. Lolly and Baloo are about to learn that sometimes self-reliance isn't enough. Sometimes survival takes something more. And just as they're trying to figure out what to do, a crow flies down with some absolutely terrible news. The wolf? Yeah, he's not working alone. He's formed a pack with the very same wild dogs that chased them off earlier, and hyenas too. There's no way Lolly and Baloo can win this on their own. So they do the only thing they can do, the bravest thing. They ask for help. And what happens next is just incredible. Inspired by their courage and all their hard work, the entire forest community comes together. The elephant brings the muscle, the parrot is their eyes in the sky, everyone pitches in with their unique talent. It's amazing.
And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you have the wolf's little gang, built on fear and greed. And on the other, you have a massive alliance, a whole community built on friendship and support. I mean, look at those numbers. It's not even a fair fight. The power of the community just completely eclipses the predators.
So when the attack finally comes, the wolf's pack is completely overwhelmed and defeated. The crow's cry from above just says it all. The reason they won wasn't just their own new strength. It was because they weren't just two friends against the storm anymore. They had the friendship of the entire forest on their side.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Let's break down the ultimate moral of the story and figure out what the strongest foundation really turned out to be.
It all boils down to this right here. The false shelter they were looking for was built on depending on others, on isolation, and on fear. But the true shelter they ended up with was built on a foundation of hard work, a strong community, and incredible courage. At the end of the day, a real shelter isn't just four walls and a roof. It's the strength you built inside yourself and the connections you forge with others.
And that brings us to the final thought, because this story isn't really about a goat and a donkey, is it? It's a mirror for our own lives. It makes you stop and ask yourself, what storms in your own life have forced you not just to look for shelter, but to actually pick up the tools and build something stronger in their wake?